Weird Woman is intended for adult audiences and discusses mental health, history, and other tough topics. Take care when listening. It's bedtime, and I've just been laying here. Usually I can drop off pretty fast. As anxious as I can get during the day, it doesn't stop me from sleeping. And even in this different place, this temporary home, that's proven true. A good thing. But tonight I've been waiting for sleep for like an hour. I'm talking in the dark, sitting up in bed, recording on this. Major Tom took off, looking out the windows, probably. He's been fascinated by the woods outside, the wilderness. It's mid-September, so it's still green and wild, and he looks out with a sort of longing. He's sniffing at the air so hard. All afternoon, after remembering that final dream, I was checked out. Not a totally odd thing. I mean, I can do my work on autopilot. Same deadlines every week, same checklists, same. And that's comforting. I don't have to expend much energy. I don't have to stress too much. Don't have to talk to too many people or tax myself. No matter the scary shit happening in the world, we still have to work, right? We still have to go through the motions. We have to pretend it's all fine. Even as it feels like a sort of squeezing. Anyway, I was checked out. I kept thinking of how the unnatural one looked at me. She smiled at me. And I wondered if that had happened before. But I mean, before last night, before trying this recording thing, I didn't remember much of anything of these dreams. I didn't remember much from any of the women, just impressions. Tiny hints of identity, feelings and smells and odd sounds. And one night of doing this, and it's broken things open. I'm remembering, but I'm also like, I don't know, channeling them or something. I mean, my voice legit changed. I listened back to the recordings again. It really happened. And not just with the ugly one. I hadn't realized at the time, but it was the mad one too. I mean, it's affecting my body. The dreams they're in me and they're coming out of me, and that's creepy. It's really fucking creepy, and it's scary. I mean, yeah, I'm scared. I'm afraid to fall asleep, to dream. What happens next if all that happened in one night? Do the dreams just get stronger and I don't know what, take over? That's probably why I can't drift off. Part of me is panicking hard. But then I think I'm excited too. That sort of night before Christmas excited. It's a good distraction, right? And maybe, I don't know, I feel hopeful, like it will help me. And I'm psyched to see them, to see my imaginary friends who want to talk to me, who want to look at me and tell me things, who want me to see things. The people in the waking world, I can't relate to them, but these women, and they're not imaginary. I shouldn't have said that. That's not the right word. If last night and these recordings showed me anything, it's that. And they also confirmed these aren't just dreams either. I'm going in circles. Jesus, I'm having the same debates again and again. I've had them all afternoon in my head. I'm sick of it. There's nothing to do but just commit. Just see what happens. So yeah, okay. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to lay down. I'm just going to breathe. I'm going to chill the fuck out so I can sleep. So I can start. Okay. Nothing happened. I just woke up to pee, and there was no dream. Not one I remembered, anyway. So now I'm laying down. I'm awake again. I can't sleep. I mean, I'm worried it's done. That the dreams are done, or that I imagined them. God, no, I didn't, though. I couldn't have imagined what it felt like being in their head, looking out at what they see, thinking what they think. I was them. I was them, and somehow they were me too. Fuck. I don't know. Just don't let them be done. Just don't let them be gone. Don't let them be gone. Okay. Yeah, I dreamed. Yeah, okay. I'm awake. Yeah, fully awake, and I was just dreaming. I was okay. Yeah, okay. It was the old one. She was in her house on the hill. The horses outside. Again, I could hear them because of that quiet, that sort of super eerie quiet. And she was at a wheel. There was fiber in her hands, spinning wool, because that's what she does for herself and for the community, that tiny town down the hill where she walks sometimes, and she uses her horses to pull a wagon full of wool, because this is the past. It's it's back. It's far back. Like centuries? Shit, like centuries in the past. And oh my God, all of them. All of the women, they're in the past, of course. So the old one, she's in her house at her wheel. She's spinning. Spin, 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 spin. My hands create something else, and something else. And the satisfaction, the warmth. And I bring that to the village, bring them to help soften their lives, hard and mean lives, to warm their nights, their cold and tough nights. But here one comes, one of them, one of the hill, up the hill, walks his path, purpose, becomes to fight, comes to taunt, comes to blame, They want more, they want health, they want future, they want the root, I am no one, I am woman, I am alone, I am old, here he comes, full of power, full of God, full of right, they want my home, they want my land, they want me gone, he will lie, he will cheat, he will hurt, he will oh, I felt that. I felt her. Her voice, it tasted like burnt, and her fingers were rubbed into calluses, and she was speaking German, or like an like an older version of German, but I understood it. It's oh, she knew, so I know that the year was Anno Domini 1589. Oh, holy shit. Oh my god. I felt her body, her sweat and cold. And yeah, she's old, but not today old. She's maybe 50s, but life was shorter then, and she knows, maybe because I know, that one day the word spinster will be an insult for unmarried and useless women, and she's a spinster in all senses. Oh my gosh. That guy. Oh, yeah, he was dangerous. She knew he was. They all were. All the people of the town. God, they're desperate to blame someone for sickness and bad weather and money leaving them and going to the nobles. She knew there was a chance. Oh my God. She knew she might be taken because there'd been news and rumors from other villages and towns of women taken and burned. She'll be taken. I mean, I guess the dreams are still here. That makes me happy. That's something. Up again. Yeah, they are for sure back. This was the broken one. It all came at me in a rush this time. Who she was, where and when, and all that. She's in 1757. She's in England, in a fairly big farmhouse, maybe a tenant farm on an estate. She's a servant. She works mostly outside in the barns. There's horses and cows and pigs, chickens, cats running in and out. There's the smell of dirt and manure and sweat and warm fur, so thick it's in her nose and on her tongue. And the sound of animals living their lives. She sleeps in the barn. Yeah, and she doesn't mind. She feels like a cat. And she followed the cats, actually, to the barn that first day when she was living anywhere, nowhere. She'd escaped a nunnery and just walked, slow and steady as possible, with her limp and tremor. She slept in the open, and then she spotted a pregnant cat making her way with assorted direction. And was like, all right, and followed her. Snuck into the barn.
I am a cat. That's the only thing that makes sense. I am a creature that runs afoot while people, real people, do whatever people do. I survive by creativity and audacity and dirt. I muck the stables, tend the animals. The mistress stands outside the doors, shouts in any particular instructions. I make her uncomfortable, but she feeds me just the same, just like one of her creatures. This is a life, one as good as any other, one better than the cloisters, where I was discarded, where I would be silenced, made to mimic and cater to imaginary stories of a man in the sky. Here, I can choose silence. This is a life better than home. Dark rooms, rigid clothes, rules upon rules, distaste and disdain from all who lived there. I talk to the animals. They talk to me. I am not broken to them. I am the most whole, most real.
She's right. It's a better life in that barn than what she had. Her parents or guardians, not sure who they were, they called her names all the time. They were the ones that called her stupid and pathetic and broken. They said she had no brain, or too much of one. And they were trying to marry her off, but all the guys, and I can see them, all those dandies and old crusty men, all of them complained to her parents. Besides the fact of her disabled body, they said she was unpleasant and unsmiling and unsuitable. The parents finally got so frustrated they dumped her at a nunnery. They weren't even fucking Catholic, and they had to hunt one down. They found one where all the unwanted and inconvenient girls went. But my girl, she ran. She said, fuck that bullshit. She may be broken, but she knew truth and lies. She knew when girls were just being locked away to wither and die. And she wanted open skies and earth smells and a religion of the dirt and moon. Major Tom is back, and I'm petting him, and he's purring, stretching out. He's so long, and his belly is all tiger spotted and soft. Just running my hand back and forth. Animals just make sense. I get it. I get her. People don't make sense, but animals do. I mean, people still call us broken today. That hasn't changed. Step too far out of normal or act against what you're supposed to act, and that threat is there. The threat of names, but also the threat of being sent away. Fuck. I couldn't sleep much after that. I dozed. I kept waking up, touching my phone to get the time. It's morning now. I have conference calls today, so I'm putting on my war paint. I mean, why don't we just call makeup that? That's what it is. We women, we put it on for armor. It's a cheap mask. A quick way to pretend like we belong. Doesn't really stand up to inspection, though, or to everyday battles. Most of mine is rubbed away or sweated off by lunchtime, and then it's just me out in the world. Did they have makeup back then? Maybe for nobles, for rich women. Not the women I'm seeing. The ones in my dreams, they're outside all of that. They're outside the world. They have no protection. The people in their lives wash their hands of them, or even sent them away. If they had married, they might have some protection, but they'd also be their husband's property to rape and beat and generally bury. And they fought that. They fought being owned. So did I. That's something we share, I guess. I could have married him or her, any of them in the past. But I was choking. I was chafing. I was disappearing. And the people I was with, they liked that. They wanted me silent. They would have owned me. And they would have called it protection. I recognize these women's brains. Because it feels like I'm in there with them. And I understand how their thinking works. How they look at people and how they get confused like I do. And how it's just easier and more comfortable by themselves. They didn't have all the words and names we do now. There wasn't a word for autistic or disabled, really. Except maybe broken, weird, witch. Would they have a word today? Like me? I mean, that still doesn't explain what's happening, but maybe that's okay. Maybe I'm just supposed to watch right now and to listen. And maybe that's... Holy fuck, that... In the mirror, that's not me. That's... Weird Woman is an audio drama from Broads and Books Productions. The show is written, performed, and produced by Amy Lee Lillard. Music comes from the Ghosts albums by 9 Inch Nails, courtesy of a Creative Commons license. Find full episode notes, transcripts, and show details at weirdwomanpodcast.com. If you like what you hear, tell a weird friend. Thanks for listening. In the Fuzzy Memories podcast, we celebrate the good, the rad, and the fugly of the 80s and 90s.
We're 3 latchkey kids who made it out alive.
And in each episode, we break down all the culture that popped, 1 year at a time.
Whether it's the birth of legends...
I'm Lyme disease free today, and I have Whitney Houston and MTV to thank. Or audacious moves.
Imagine also, the poor Golden Gate Bridge, you turn 75 and people have a party on you.
Yep. I don't want that.
Or even confusing PSAs.
And the stop, drop, and roll. I mean, I assumed
Yes.
as an adult I would catch on fire weekly.
All the time!
We've got a take that will make you laugh.
We've also got thoughts on all sorts of random phenomena and the most unmitigated of golf.
Why sharks can't be trusted, people can't be trusted, and rivers can't be trusted. It's collusion.
Of the highest degree.
Uh-huh.
You were counseling me to start my remarks with, first of all, bitch.
Everyone in that room would have snapped to attention.
It's going to be basically coffee lids, shark revenge, and then maybe like Matt Getz. We need to do something about him.
Join us every other Wednesday to celebrate the hits, the misses, and the misfits of the weirdest decades.
If I could tell my 14-year-old self from 1990 that I would be eating in a Cheesecake Factory
In Beverly Hills.
I'd be like, we did it. We did it, Joe.
We did it.
Listen and subscribe to Fuzzy Memories on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and your favorite podcast platform.